Marilyn, somebody tell me, do we have audio this morning? Oh, wonderful. Thank you. Well, how's everybody doing this morning? We're all looking forward to the trading day, I hope. I sure am. Anyway, this is Tuesday, the 6th of October, and I'm going to take a second here to run through a few things. Be very careful 1 minute to some news. If you've got trades on, either tighten your stops, or if you're about to enter, I would wait a minute or two or three or more to let this settle out. It's the trade balance news, both out of Canada and the US. So that may move, it may move the Canadian dollar. It already looks like the CAD may not be quite as happy as it could be. And then there's more news at 10 o'clock on coming out of Canada. So just be aware of what those news times are and how significant they might be to affect whatever market you like to trade. This morning, I don't see a heck of a lot that is, just waiting for us out here. It looks like the indices have all been kind of in a real tight, choppy range for several hours. So I'm sure yesterday the indices were enormously happy. So we'll just see how happy they get today. The dollar is starting to drift down a little bit. So if you trade the dollar, pay attention to that. Other than that, I don't see too much. Brent has been very interesting to me because it has come up into at least a civilized range, and it's trying to see if it can get past just about this $50 level, and if it does, it will take the WTI with it. So having said that, the VIX, it's very interesting if you trade the indices to realize that this VIX is backing down. It's just slowly but surely backing down while these indices have really taken off. And right now it looks like the Fed, I mean, who knows what those people are going to do. I'm convinced they don't. But if they should raise the rates later this year, which they keep getting these employment numbers like they had, they're not likely to. But who knows? But you'll see the VIX go back up again. And that will help confirm that the indices are on their way down. I have I've kind of rearranged the furniture here in my camera workspace. I'm trying to get this, we're getting closer and closer, I keep telling myself, to losing these diagnostic bars, which I just love the diagnostic candles or bars. But since we're going to lose them, I'm trying to get a real comfort level with what at least for my trading, what I can substitute. If it works for you, fine. If you find another way, by all means, let us know. I found the my main 12-tick chart, which is now the 519 shadow bar. I found it was getting pretty cluttered, start making too much stuff in front of my face for me to trade with, so I took some things off of it, took the ice off of it. I can see the ice a lot more plainly on these smaller charts, and the ice is just a number. It's just a level. It's just a warning. It's a range. So I don't need, that's just something I can get off of this chart. This chart I like to use for what is the bigger picture of the market. So that's what I use it for. And I really am addicted to these apex formations. We had a lot of failed E's right here, but we're still holding a green apex pattern, even though we got a little bit below settlement. But this is going to try, at least it is now, to go on up above settlement. Hopefully it'll stay up there for the day. So I took that off, and I can't remember, I took something else off of here that was just a little too much stuff. But what I finally settled on, I found this sharpshooter to be the colors on the bars, in addition to the colors on these bands, were getting in my way. If I get too much stuff in front of my face, I can't focus on what I need to be looking at. So I took the colors off of the bars. I used to trade crude oil with just black bars, not the candles. Lori convinced me that the value of the her slingshots, and so I paid a little more attention. I'm kind of getting the hang of that. But what I like about this is I like those trend catchers for entry confirmations. However, having said that, if you've traded with the trend catcher before, you know that you have to be very, very picky. This is part of the ping process of picky, patient, and paid. You have to pay attention to these entries. Don't be just jumping in here taking an entry off of any trend catcher signal that puts up, because this is what's going to happen to you. It's going to be a bad experience. So if you use that in conjunction with what the general trend is, which you can see on here, I just find it easier to see. Keeping in mind, where did this go right here? It went right up here to the high of the day and this magnet. If you're not paying attention to magnets, let me tell you how you spell magnet. You spell magnet M-O-N-E-Y. If you don't have these magnets on your charts, I would suggest that we're trying to get them programmed, which is going to make it a lot easier, but they are volume based. Daryl has a video on how you find these things. I just find them for everybody on crude oil because that's my favorite thing to trade. Be sure you learn to respect these magnets. So these two charts, in conjunction with a bigger picture on our 30-minute, and monitoring what the MVP is going to do over here. And I do have the MVP on this chart, or I did. I'll go back and check. I think I have it on here. I thought I did. If not, I'm going to put it on there. I do have the predictors. I like the predictors. And this is the trend flip. So this takes a little while. I will get these charts into the next tool kit if we can settle on something that makes sense. So as I've been sitting here talking, I'm noticing the Canadian dollar is falling. How much that's going to affect the price of oil right now, I don't know. It's the time of day with crude oil, this time of day for about the next 30 minutes. Normally it doesn't do too much. So having said that, the DAX been up all day yesterday and looks like it might want to do that again today. And the reason I mention that is that the US indices follow that DAX. You can use it for an early warning or a leading indicator. So we have lots and lots of buying, it looks like, coming in here, but not too much volume right now. When this little little thing right in here burst. We had exceeding volume on this. So anyway, all these things, once you get the hang of this, all these things start to make a lot more sense. So happy trading. This has been my view from my world in Apex land, brought to you by Apex Investing. I'll see you at noon. Thanks.